Is good? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we've got to talk about the deal of the day in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. And I'm not talking just specifically about today, because yesterday the deal of the day was a D-Rob for 40% off, who is the second best center today in the game right now. Today we get Diamond Drew Holiday for 50% off. Now this back-to-back is just crazy, and it's honestly kind of surprising. Like I'm just kind of stunned the fact that Drew Holiday is 50% off, considering yesterday D-Rob was 40% off. Throughout this year, the deal of the day has basically been useless. How many different times has there been a card that's just been not relevant to the current time? So for back-to-back days, for us to get a really relevant card, I think is super important. It's one of the main reasons in 2K, guys, I tell you to value your MT. There was one day in the pack market, there was basically an unsellable Showtime pack for 11,000 MT. And I'm like, guys, do not open this. Number one, you're probably not going to pull a diamond. Number two, even if you do pull a diamond, you're probably not going to pull anybody good, and you won't be able to sell them. I would much rather you guys save up your MT and get D-Rob and Drew Holiday sellable cards that, you know what, if you grade them and they grade well, you'll actually be able to come out nearly even. Now, obviously, if you grade them and they don't do so well, it's going to be a little tougher. But that's why I'm a big time fan of, you know what, save your MT, capitalize on opportunities like this. I know a lot of people also who just basically play triple threat to save up enough MT to rip packs, whether it's a deluxe pack, whether it's a base pack. This is another reason I'm against doing that as well, because that just ruins the whole point of building your squad. I started this No Money Spent squad series on Christmas. Obviously, I added Chet. Obviously, I added D-Rob. And right now, like, if I was to build my squad, obviously, I gotta claim my exhibitions, but I have Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, a lot of those guys. But I don't have anybody to the level of Drew Holiday at the point guard position. And so for me, I bought D-Rob yesterday. I would work my MT, and I'm going to, on the No Money Spent squad series, work my MT enough to be able to afford this Drew Holiday. That's one of my main goals when diving into my No Money Spent squad series, because he's, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 point guards in the entire game and can compete at any level. For 82,000 MC, you're not going to beat that. So the way I think about this, guys, is not only are they 50% off. If Drew Holiday's 82,000 MT, D-Rob was 90-some thousand MT yesterday. Not only is that the case, but also you can sell them back for basically a 20% loss, or not even, yeah, basically a 20% loss straight away right now. Now, if you grade them, they'll have chances to sell back even higher. Now, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about card grading because I think it's important with the deal of the day. So, I could grade D-Rob for 7,300 MT, or I can grade 10 cards for even cheaper, or basically cheaper if not the exact same price. Now, if you are gonna go through and grade cards, I'd recommend grading Series 1 players that are auctionable, or that you eventually will be able to sell. Because that, I mean, you'll be able to eventually get a little bit of your MT back from them. But I just kind of want to walk you through why you shouldn't just grade the first, guy you see, and why you should grade 10 cards instead of just one. Because look, I grade 10 cards, and again, it doesn't really matter a whole ton who they are. It's going to end up being cheaper than grading D-Rob by himself. So that's something I do recommend, even if you want to grade D-Rob, if you got him yesterday with Drew Holiday, and then 10 golds, something I recommend. Now, let's say D-Rob comes back any grade. I'm not a fan of regrading. So let's say even if D-Rob comes back a 7, I'll actually lose MT on grading him, but it's okay. If he comes back a 9 or higher, you're going to make MT. And if he comes back a 9.5 or higher, or a 9.75 or higher, you're going to end up making MT off of what you spent on the original card. Now, I'm not saying 2K has to give us deals of the day like this every single day, because they don't. I mean, we're very fortunate. The last 2 days, we have a top 2 center and a top 5 at minimum point guard added to this deal of the day section. But my whole thing is this. If these come once a week, it's fantastic for the game because there are so many great free cards you could add to your squad. Like, let's say right now I could add AK right here to the small forward position. I could add Steph to the point guard position, Drew to the backup point guard position. I got Chet. I added Roy Hibbert. You've got so many different free options. And that's another big reason I'm recommending, spend your MT on Drew and D-Rob if they help your squad out. because you've got so many of these other free options that if you can get these guys, Drew and D-Rob, both combined for 180,000 MT, you're not going to beat that. You're not. And I don't know what the future holds for this upcoming season, but I don't think Drew is going to get quote-unquote outdated. I don't think D-Rob is going to get quote-unquote outdated. We might see a KP soon. We might see a Yao soon. D-Rob might drop from the number 2 center to the number 5 center. But guess what? That new KP, that new Yao, those guys are going to cost, at minimum 300K MT. And if they're a lock-in, $1 million plus MT. Whereas D-Rob is 90,000 MT and can compete at that similar level. Now let's compare this to the auction house as we know it. Now, I want to start off with this. The auction house at minimum took 10% anyways. So, I mean, instead of this 20, right now if I bought Jrue Holiday, I'd lose basically 20% if I bought him and then sold him back right away. Basically lose 20%. Now, with the auction house, you're losing 10% anyways. Plus, the nice part about Diamond Jrue Holiday is his price is only going to go down 7% every single week. So, let's take his price tag right now. And let's say from now, today is Tuesday. So let's say, I'm just gonna go on the high side. Let's go 24 days from now. What is his price going to be? His base price is still gonna be 133,000 MT. Now his sellback value is still gonna be 53,000 MT. So nearly a month from now, if you were to buy Jrue Holiday for today, right now, you'd be able to use him for 24 days. Sell him on that Thursday before the Friday. You'd lose 29,000 MT. You're basically running one of the best point guards in the game for a month for 29,000 MT. That is not bad at all, especially considering a lot of people had no issues buying that Showtime pack for that bum Zion Williamson or a chance at him and nothing better. Now the only negative I could see to this is if you don't have the 82,000 MT right away, or if you didn't have that 97,000 MT right away, or if you bought D-Rob yesterday and now don't have the MT for Jrue Holiday. But even if you're really struggling on MT, guess what, guys? A lot of these guys, you could go sell the Series 1 cards. Not that I recommend it. You obviously could, though. Another thing you guys can look at if you're really scrounging for MT, sell all your shoes. Sell all your uniforms. Sell all of your badges if you have duplicates. Like, I mean, those are just the even back down Punisher. I have a duplicate, I can sell it. Precision Dunker, I got 3 of them. I can sell it. That's where the hidden MT is ultimately going to be at. Same thing with Shoe Boost. You can scrouge out probably 10,000 MT super easily. And guess what, guys? Even in game modes, there's so much MT to be made. 15 wins in Triple Threat Online, 10,000 more MT added to your collection. And so that's the other part of this that I want you guys to see and realize is 80,000 MT a lot? In the grand scheme of things, not really. But the big deal here is you're getting a really good point guard. Jrue Holiday is such a good deal. And I can't phrase that enough or hype that up enough. He is such a good deal of the day. And the sellback value is the main thing, right? So, like, you could go and say, well, Ty, I really think Cade Cunningham's just as good as Jrue Holiday. And that's fine if that's your opinion. You might think Cade Cunningham's cheaper. And again, that's fine. But just realize Cade Cunningham's not going to have the sellback value that Jrue Holiday does. Because Cade Cunningham, if you were to buy him today, you're only going to be able to sell him back for basically like 25,000 MT. And you're losing 30,000 MT off the top. Whereas with Jrue Holiday, you're not losing quite as much. And so that's one thing that's really important with these deal of the days to note. Especially if you grade them and they grade out a 9 or above, at least one of them, you're doing really good with your MT. Now, what's to look at with deal of the days? How do you know which cards are going to be good? Who could be good in the future? So some future guys I want to highlight. Rudy G could be good. Luol Deng could be good. I think we might have already seen either of them. Ron Artest could be a really solid deal of the day. Kawhi, Jason Tatum, AD, D-Book. Any of these guys could be really good for deal of the days. One thing I want to remind you of, be pretty selective of who you buy. I'm not buying anybody that's not a top 5 card at their specific position. A card that, are they going to help me? I don't know. Then I'm not buying them. Jrue Holiday, D-Rob, I know both of those cards are going to help me for the foreseeable future in the Nobody Spent Squad series. And so I'm not hesitating buying the cards. And you guys should be the same way, especially if you're not going to lose a bunch of MT on it. The way I see it, if I buy Jrue, if I buy D-Rob, I grade them 1 grades out of 9 or above, and then I play a couple of unlimited games. By that point, the MT is already going to be made for Jrue and D-Rob, and now I got the cards for basically free on a 3-week rental. I'll take that every day of the week. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am that 2K is starting to do something with these deals of the day. And even the way I see it is, if you have a couple 100,000 MT and you're really trying to save it, I would not, again, hesitate buying D-Rob, buying Drew, because you're not going to lose a lot of MT. Come 3 weeks from now, I would always sell Drew, D-Rob on the Thursdays. That's a day before they're going to lose value. That's when I'm selling. Every card is on a Thursday right before, as long as they came out on a Friday drop. 3 weeks before they lose their value. Drew, obviously, D-Rob, both of them have been out for 3 weeks, so they're going to consistently lose value every single Friday. Just some important things to note as you guys do dive into this thing. I love Drew. I love D-Rob. They're both two of my favorite cards to use. I'm actually using both of them in my squad, in the best squad in the game right now. That's the crazy part. Drew and D-Rob both make my best squad in the game, and you can get them both for 180,000 MT. Absolutely crazy deals of the day. Hopefully 2K continues this train in the right direction, because they've got something going here, guys. They've got something going. Makes it affordable to actually, with no auction house, look forward to something every single day. And I hope they continue to do this. I'm not even saying it's always got to be a diamond. They could throw a Dikembe Mutombo in the deal of the day. They could, throw a lot of these budget cards, even a Brandon Miller one day in the deal of the day. I would not hate that at all. I think the important thing is deals of the day need to be 40 to 50% off to really make them worthwhile. So today, right now, as it stands, I'm about to load up the No Money Spent Squad series, claim my exhibitions, and work my way towards Drew Holiday, because I am so stoked and so excited. Let me know your thoughts on the deals of the day down below in the comments. I think they've been absolutely incredible recently. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.